I am absolutely delighted to be here with all of you today. I reflect, and thank you for that wonderful bio, but something that I typically, when I come to speakers, conferences like this, I think about is, how did this person from a small town in the United States, less than 5,000 people of the population of my town, come to be a leader of a finance organization for the world's largest company and in another country leading the most strategic market for Walmart? And if it's okay, I would like to share with you some pivotal moments of my career because I think that it will add value and perspective to you. I am just like each one of you. There's nothing special in my DNA that's not in your DNA. Actually, you all have the same opportunity to come take my job and hopefully proceed and take other people's jobs as well. So one of the things about me growing up in a small town, my parents separated at a very young age. So I learned very quickly in life that in order for me to succeed, I'm going to have to work at it. I'm going to have to work to earn anything that I needed. No one told me to go to college. No one told me, you should go to college and you should go into finance and this and this and this. No one told me that at a young age. I just knew I wanted a better opportunity for myself. So I went to school. I have an MBA, I have a Master's of Accounting, I have a CPA, I'm a global chartered accountant, right? I knew very early I needed an education that would be able to withstand my career and carry me forward. So I challenged myself significantly. I worked full-time, went to school full-time. I had a goal in mind. I'm going to pay for my education because no one else is going to help me. My goal was to finish college debt-free. After many, many hours working around the clock, people would make fun of me. They'd say, you take any job anyone's willing to pay for you because you needed to earn so that you could pay for your schooling, right? And luckily along the way, I also very early on said, I need to get experience. So I took a job managing all of the finances for a small company, went on from that to a regional accounting firm, and went on to that to work for Grant Thornton. Grant Thornton is like the 5th largest accounting firm. At the time, definitely all the big four, Ernst & Young, you had a speaker from Ernst & Young, Deloitte, KPMG, PwC, they all were interested in me. But the reason I chose Grant Thornton was because they had a female at a senior manager position from the Cleveland, Ohio office interviewing me, where all the other firms only had males. So I knew this company believes in women and believes and will support career growth for women. And that was a very key moment of my career where I knew I was picking an organization that can demonstrate very clearly to me that they will help women succeed. Yes, you have to do the work and this, that, and the other, of course. So that was the moment that I went ahead and joined Grant Thornton. Luckily, after working for Grant Thornton for many years, traveling the world, traveling across the United States, helping clients solve very big problems, I got married to my husband. My husband actually worked for Grant Thornton as well. He's a CPA too, so we have very exciting conversations at home. Very difficult tax time as well. We both review our taxes very detailed. But after a while, he wanted out of public accounting. He said, I'm ready to go into corporate. And so at that moment, I understood, he wanted a career change. Everyone will tell you I was on track to be the first woman partner of that office of the firm. And I said, okay, well, why don't you just look south in the United States? We always wanted to move to the south. We kind of had that aspiration for weather and other reasons. So look in these cities, see if, you find something that you like. And after working with some headhunters, he came along a profile for Walmart. And he went and interviewed in Arkansas. And I know you might not know much about the United States, but Arkansas is like in the middle of nowhere. Not many people live there. It's very rural as well. And so he comes back from the interview and he tells me, Dawn, I had a fantastic interview. I love the company. Everything's aligned. I'm 90% certain this is where I want to go for my career. 90%. Mike, oh my goodness, that is very high. Why are you holding 10% out? He said 10% is because I need you to be okay with this decision. I'm moving you to a location. I thought I was just transferring in the firm. I knew my vision was I'm making partner, right? I thought the firm will just help me transition to any office that I could find. But there's no office in Arkansas. So I paused for probably 5 to 10 seconds. And I said, go. I had never been to Arkansas. I had driven through it once, but I had never spent time there. I didn't know much beyond what you hear in the news about Walmart itself. And I said, go. He goes, what do you mean? I said, if you're that certain, I have to support you. I'm not going to hold you back. You go. I'm going into the busiest time of the year for me with work because it was busy season. We'll figure it out. So we spent 4 months apart. And during those 4 months, it was extremely challenging on our marriage, on a lot of personal aspects. And after those 4 months, and I got through the busy season for me, and we had a lot of personal things that happened, I said, okay, now I need to make a move. I need to figure out how I'm going to be back into your life after a few months apart. This is very challenging. We need to get back together. So at that time, he had been telling me all the great things about Walmart. I joined Walmart. I said, I said, I'm going to start looking at Walmart as well. You've told me all these great things. I believe in the mission, saving people money so they can live better. 2.2 million associates around the world. The impact this organization has on the world is tremendous. I'm in. Let me try it out as well. So I joined Walmart. I've done various roles in Walmart. I had just taken a big promotion, and the leader at the time came to me right before Thanksgiving holiday and said, Dawn, we want you to take a new role. I said, I just started my new role. Why are you telling me you now need me to take another role? He goes, we have one of the most important strategic projects for the organization, up to the board level, the audit committee level, the executive team. We've been told we need to identify a resource to allocate to the project. We believe you are the most critical person to join that project. For me to transition to take on this project, though, that meant travel 75% of the time around the world. That meant a lot of hard work coming, a lot of pressures coming, a new area that I hadn't worked in. I wasn't really keen on the way the project was going, etc. So he said, take the Thanksgiving holiday, think it over, come back on Monday. I said, sure. Number one, thank you. Appreciate your faith in me. I appreciate my skills are being recognized. I have one question. Do I have a choice? He said, actually, no. And up until that moment, I thought I always had my career path and my, what I'm working towards. It was always right in front of me. And at this point, out of nowhere, because I had just gotten promoted, just started a new team, I was forced into considering this other way. It was a lateral move, even though I had just gotten promoted. It was like consistent with same level, etc. So I spent the weekend thinking about it. And I said, you know what, I don't have a choice. So I talked to my mentors. I had my team, trying to negotiate. No, let her stay in her current role, this, that, and the other. And I said, no, I'm going to take this. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to go all in. And I am going to ensure a few things. Number one, that I'm involved in the strategic direction of the project because I wasn't too keen on the way it was being handled up until that point. So all key decisions I want to be a part of. I might not be the decision maker, but I need a seat at the table to be a part of that. Additionally, number two, allow some level of flexibility. I understand I need to travel the world. I'm going to take on this big project, but I need some level of flexibility in that as well. So I met with everyone. Everything was aligned. That project took me across almost all the markets that Walmart operates in. And that took me into extreme diverse situations, different cultures, working with different teams, outside the company and inside the company. I came to Walmart India. I worked with Walmart India up in Delhi at that point in time. I worked in China. I worked in Japan. I spent 75% of my time outside of the US. I would fly for 3 weeks. I'd come home for 1 week. I'd fly back out for 3 weeks across the world. So it was a lot of work. And after that, I realized I'm building this amazing skill set of being able to adapt to different cultures, being able to understand, being able to help other people. And so I came back, and after that, I had started talking to the leadership team. I want to consider emerging into a market. And they said, okay, but which market, right? Where are you thinking? Kind of help us understand that. There's not many people that get placed into markets in Walmart, so it's a big process. But in order to be successful, it's important in your longer term career that you have a very diverse perspective. And I told Brett Biggs, our current CFO at the time, I told him, I don't care what market. You can place me into any market around the world. I want you to give me the most challenging. I want you to give me the one that's going to stretch me the hardest, and where you need my skill set that I can have the highest impact for the company. That's where I want you to put me. And he said, no one has ever told me that. Long story short, I got the opportunity to go to China. I spent about 3.5 years in China, and it was hard. I mean, my family, they didn't even understand why that was such a great opportunity. My in-laws said, what did you do wrong that Walmart hates you so much? They're sending you to China, right? And I said, no, I promise this is an extreme opportunity. And of course, my husband went and worked as well. Then a year and a half ago, actually, I thought I was moving back to the US. So we started having conversations about my transition plan. When would that be? What type of roles I'm interested in, etc. And I was given a role actually in the United States. Transitioning, and I have my child here in December, and I couldn't be prouder. I like to say he's Indian since he was born here in Bangalore. The thing I want to leave you with, because the thing that's most important, I think, is number one, invest in yourself. Make sure you're all here today because you care about your future, right? Keep investing in yourself. That means taking care of your health. That means making sure you prioritize things in your life. You can tell from my story, my husband is my rock, and everything I do, we're together on it. Make sure that you invest in yourself. Invest in yourself to grow. Constantly continue to challenge yourself to grow in new ways. Be comfortable with the uncomfortable is my second advice. I have literally dumped myself and my family into new cultures. I don't even realize that I might be the only Western person in the room. It doesn't even cross my mind, right? Nor does it cross my mind sometimes if I'm the only female in the room. Because I'm here to add value and have an impact. And know that you're here to add value and have an impact. So make sure you're comfortable with the uncomfortable. When you feel like you're going to break down, that means you're growing. It's a great feeling. Although it's hard at the moment, once you can reflect, you're going to be so proud of yourself. And the last thing is obviously be determined and work hard. The only way this girl from a 5,000 population small town in the US came to be here today is because I was determined and I worked extremely hard. So I don't want you to applaud me, actually, as I close. I want you all to applaud yourself. Congratulations in investing in yourself, being here today, continuing to strive to be better. Make sure you surround yourself with great people, great mentors that help you along the way. Your future is unlimited.